Alrighty folks, look at this beast. This is a rapid makeup air unit. We got a little bit of an issue going on with it. I'll put a little picture right there. Error code 20, airflow. So we're gonna get up in this thing and check it out. It's kind of interesting. You walk underneath it. Got my tool bag set up. Then here you are. This is where all your components are. Burners are in there. Gas block valves, all your electrical, which I'm not sure what's going on with this, but I don't know, maybe it leaks or something. Let's get it. I'm just gonna do a little walkthrough on what all this equipment is, as a lot of people don't know. So first off, we got 2 gas block valves, fluid filled, which one of them is leaking. Got the leak right there, you can see it's leaking. So these have fluid in them. 2 main primary and secondary fluid filled gas block valves. This is your regulating valve. That's what monitors or meters the gas inlet to the unit. Airflow switch, high gas pressure, low gas pressure. We got our burner control, Honeywell 7800, transformer, main disconnect, probably the motor starter for our blower motor. We got a relay set. These are going to be your outputs in the black, inputs are going to be yellow, and that's our main interface for this unit. That's what talks to the controller inside the building. So currently everything is working how it's supposed to. I'm not exactly sure what's going on quite yet. Let's dig into it. So on our ICS2 controller, we have a little reset button right there. Right there. We're gonna press that. Everything is gonna go dead. So that's gonna reset the system and it should start to fire up. We're gonna see it do its whole process of ignition. See what happens. Okay, word to the wise, if you've got one of these remote stations here with your Ethernet plug in the back, just unplug it if you can and plug it right into that jack. And now you can work on this outside, no problem. Currently just watching it. We got our meter leads on our output for our outdoor air damper. We're currently watching it climb down. So first light is for opening the outdoor air damper. Second light is for closing the outdoor air damper. And looks like we close fully. Now we're gonna have a little bit of a delay and everything else should kick on. And then we can start looking at our airflow switch up there. Okay, everything kicked on. We got our burner control. It is lit up. Just heard both fluid valves open and the regulator is working properly. Our airflow switch took a little bit while to get power through it. So I'm wondering if we have something going on. There's an air dampener over there or the belts. We're gonna look into those right now. We're gonna pop our head in here. We got the unit shut down. Check out these belts. Here she is. All right, let's climb in this sucker. All right, so here's our belts. Not looking too bad. Tension pretty tight. So those check out good. We got our burner assembly here. This is gonna be our air pressure switch, airflow switch. Those are our tubes for it. That one and that one reads differential pressure across the burner. And then we got some dampers up in there. Up there, up there. No filters in this unit. So yeah, let's get back out of here. Okay, now we're in the filter section that has no filters. That's our supply air damper, or I guess return air damper. That's our outdoor air damper. And then up top, up here, is our supply air damper. Up there, thinking we should just grease these a little bit, make sure they're working smoothly. So we've been looking at the old schematic. We've been kind of figuring it out. So this relay does our supply air actuator right up there, which the airflow switch right there, you can barely see it. Airflow switch isn't closing until the supply air damper is open which is caused by this guy here. So we're gonna start up again with the controller down here and see what happens. Okay, so we're in the programming. We're gonna scroll over to mode, enter. Currently have it in off. Gonna go to auto pressure, programming. Oh. So we got 126 volts energizing the coil on our relay that energizes the actuator, supply air damper actuator. I'm gonna put a new one in there of those, and then we're gonna see how this thing operates. All right, got a wrench on there. We're gonna shut her down and boom. Got the new relay in there, looking all pretty. Got this old one. I don't know if you see that right there on that terminal. Pretty discolored. Might be part of the issue. So we're gonna pop this bad boy on our wire that goes to the damper. We're gonna see how many amps that damper is pulling to see if that's why this is failing and getting discolored. All right, so we are reading half of an amp on that actuator, that one over there. So we're gonna go see what the actuator is rated for, see if it's starting to fail. So we just got up there and checked out that it's rated at 0.2, put it right here, 0.2 amps. So it's pulling more than it's supposed to. I already lubricated all these dampers. They're moving easily. So I think we need to quote them a new actuator. It's failing intermittently, causing them to have error codes. So I'm gonna try to explain this a little bit better. So what happens is the motor starter will start, so the contactor will pull in. Once that pulls in, sends voltage to this relay, allowing that supply air damper to open. Once that air damper opens, it closes our airflow switch. Once the airflow switch closes, the burner comes on. So if that supply air damper never opens, airflow switch will never open, and then we'll get alarm on our controller saying issue with the airflow switch when it's really an issue with supply air damper. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna send this over to our dealer. We're gonna get a quote for a new actuator and go from there. All right, skip forward about a week. We got some parts to put in this rig for that supply air damper up there. So if we walk over here, I'll show you the work I've done. So we got our new Blemo 24 volt supply air damper actuator. Got some new conduit ran to our junction box. Got it all mounted. It is working beautifully. So that's gonna be a wrap on this one today, folks. Peace out.